Hey everybody, welcome back to the channel. My name's Justin and I like motorbikes. And in today's video, I'm going to give you a review of the LS2 Advant helmet. First, let's lay a couple things on the table. If you're thinking this is a video that I made because I didn't have anything to upload this week and needed something quickly, you're absolutely right. If you're thinking that this helmet has been out for a long time and a review of it might not be super useful, you're probably also correct. But having had this helmet for 2 years and having ridden with it now for at least a year and a half, I feel like I can give you a good overview of this helmet. So if you're looking at this LS2 or another LS2 product, maybe it helps you make your decision. That being said, there are some good things, there are some bad things, and it's like anything else. Not everything's perfect. So, in full transparency, I bought this LS2 Advant composite. There's a carbon version, this is not that, 2 years ago. And I bought it because I was looking for a replacement for my Nolan N100-5. That's a great modular helmet. Rode with it for 7 or 8 years, which is probably longer than I should have, but absolutely love that helmet and needed something to replace it. I didn't want to break the bank though, and I think that's important because modular helmets and good touring helmets are not cheap, as you would have known if you've looked at them at any recent point of time. So when I found this helmet on sale at Razilla for $370, I figured it made sense. Was it worth $370? Absolutely. Is there a reason why it was $370? Probably, but we'll get into that. So for everything that really matters about the LS2 Advant, one thing that it's probably known for is this 180-degree flipping chin bar. So now you have a helmet that goes from a full-face modular to a 3/4. And you could ride like that and do it safely. But I bought it primarily because I like modular helmets when I'm on road touring. If you're looking for some specifics, this particular model, as are the newer models, is ECE 2206 and also DOT FMV SS218 certified. It has chin vents up front here that open and close pretty easily. They don't have a great feel when they open and close, but that's neither here nor there. It's got this one has a clear visor. I know you can also add a photochromic visor. I have not done so on this. It's got a forehead vent or a top vent here. Again, doesn't have a great tactile feel, but isn't hard to open and close with gloves. And it's got exhaust vents out the back. LS2 claims to have a very good air intake and exhaust system. And in my experience over the last year and a half or so riding with this helmet, it's okay. It's nothing to write home about. It's also not the worst thing ever. Let me bring you in closer and we'll talk about some of the design choices for this particular helmet. All right, so here we are up close and personal with this LS2 Advant. You'll see here that these are our vents. I don't find them to be super tactile in their feel, not a really great click. I don't think the top ones are either, but they do work. It's kind of hard to see on camera. That's a little piece of plastichrome there, as well as back here. This was called the LS2 Advant Special. Not really sure if that was just in the design choice or what it was. Not the most aesthetically pleasing helmet, but not horrible either. Over here again, symmetry, of course. The detents, let's talk about detents for a second. And the detents on this are actually pretty good. It seems to stay where you put it. Can open it just a little bit to get some good airflow. Can open it all the way up. You can see we've got the eye port there, which is actually really, really nice. And of course, here is the party piece. We'll hold you up here so you can see that. Here is the button to push to do the chin bar release. You'll see that I do have my Cardo Pack Talk Edge set up on this helmet, and that does work very well. I found it to be pretty easy to install, and you'll see that I end up putting the The dock for the actual unit itself was a little bit further back than I would have wanted to, but it's not horrible. And then last but not least, at least for this particular shot, it does have a drop-down sun visor or blast shield. I will say that if there's one thing about this helmet that I really like, it is the sun visor. And that's because it's not on a ratchet. You simply pull it down, or you simply run the lever or run the tab to pull it down, and then you run it back to pull it up. You don't have to wait for a spring to retract or get caught. With my Nolan and others, I have found that to be a problem. All right, let's take a little bit closer look at the ratchet here. You'll see it has this ratchet buckle here, if you can see that. It's not hard to do when you're looking at it. I have found that when it's on and I'm trying to find it, even with bare hands without having gloves on first, it really does take me longer than it would with either a double D-ring or a fidlock or any of the other options that are out there. All right, so when it comes to a fit and sizing perspective, there's another video on this channel for the Liat 8.5 full face adventure helmet. And I wear a 2X in that. The LS2, I think, is more round than oval in my opinion. And so a 2X would have been very small for me. So I did upsize to a 3X with this. And as far as the feeling right now with the chin bar at the back, kind of in 3/4 face mode, this is super comfortable, as most 3/4 face helmets are. If, however, I go ahead and bring the chin bar down, the real estate gets very, very crowded very, very quickly. In fact, if you asked me about my kind of biggest gripe with this helmet, it's that the way they designed the chin bar to make it do this, which is really cool, and I really do appreciate it. When you bring it down here, it almost feels like there's another bar that kind of runs closer to your face, and I feel more pinched this way and this way to a point. That being said, I'm not a small person. I feel like the 3X should have been able to be plenty big enough. And to be fair, it's not necessarily an uncomfortable place where I'm at right now, at least not for the first, say, 2 or 3 hours of a ride. But when I'm riding all day, eventually I am to a point where I'm wanting to have it look like this for the majority of the time because of the feel of that, just kind of that scrunch a little bit. I don't know what you call that, but yeah. So yeah, it's definitely a mixed bag when it comes to the fit of this helmet. All right, let's talk about the finish of this helmet. So if I have a major pet peeve when it comes to helmets, it's going to be that they oftentimes aren't put together in a way that stays together. I just took this off. Now granted, I do have my boom mic from my Cardo right here, so you could say, okay, that's probably caused it, but it was doing this before. Again, all you have to do is take my word for that. Don't expect you to, but anyway, that's just my opinion. And this cheek pad is always loose when I take this helmet off. And I have refastened it multiple times. The way that it clicks in just doesn't necessarily work, I think, the way it was designed or intended to. So something to keep in mind on this helmet. All right, so I've shared with you a few good things and some not so good things about this LS2 Advant helmet. As I said earlier, maybe I did, we'll see. I guess if I didn't, I'll take out this piece. I found this on Revzilla on sale for $370 shipped. For that money, I didn't feel like I could pass it up. And for that money, it's also a very good helmet. I'll keep wearing it. That being said, if I find a good deal on another Nolan or a Shoei or anything else or a Schubert, I'll probably go that direction. Would I recommend this helmet to someone else? A lot's going to depend on your head size. A lot's going to depend on how much you like fiddly helmets, because in my mind, this is kind of a fiddly helmet. Again, tactile feedback is important. Things staying together is important. And in my opinion, this helmet fails in that respect. Is it a good helmet? Do I feel safe in it? Absolutely. Is it made to a standard that maybe you'd expect from a higher quality helmet manufacturer? Absolutely not. That being said, again, it was $370, so I guess I got what I paid for. I hope you found this video useful. If you have a differing opinion or have a counterpoint or want to ask a question, please do so in the comments below. Let's have a discussion. If you got something out of this video, please consider giving it a like. It really does help. It doesn't cost you anything. And if you're curious what else we got going on, including maybe videos that have slightly more production content to them, go ahead and subscribe. Again, it doesn't cost you anything, and I'll always do my very best to earn your valuable YouTube time. If it is conducive to ride where you are, like it is where I'm currently at, please go out and do so safely, and I will see you in the next one.